Welcome to season 2 of the Escaping Normal podcasts, where I'm diving into the diaries of entrepreneurs living in Dubai. Now, this morning, I've got Luka sitting in front of me. He is the founder of fitness apparel brand DIOS, as well as a fitness coach here in Dubai. So welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Amazing. So before we begin and dive into everything, what do you think we need to know about Luka, which will give us context to the conversation that we have?
Yeah, I come from Belgrade, Serbia. Great place in the Balkans. I don't know if you've been, but I know you like your party scene. So it's a proper party spot. If you want to party at like noon on a Tuesday, you'll find a party. Like, top place. Amazing to visit. Food, insane. But yeah, we had a little bit of a tough past with wars and all of that. But I think people now are just so sick of it. So it's a fairly safe place to visit. People are very welcoming. I wouldn't change it for anything.
And does your family live back there still?
Yeah. My parents and my sister, they're still there. They brought us up like really, really, really well. I think just had a normal childhood for a person that comes from Serbia. My sister was born with a rare syndrome, barely survived her birth. Then my parents realized that she's also deaf. Spent the next 6-7 years trying to just like shape her up for life and everything. I came along, no problems, or at least I like to believe. But yeah, they really did everything, so I owe it to them. And yeah, there was times where we were broke. There was times when we had a lot more than others.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, been through it all. Went through the school. I was a good kid. I was a good kid up until I reached like teenage years. Then you know how it goes.
So you hit a little
Parties and just going out, being out in the street with the wrong crowd. And but I was good. I was always good at school. I always knew my parents sort of expected a lot from me, so I didn't want to. And yeah, they brought us up really nice with respect everybody, just do well, everything you do it the best. And I knew it wasn't right for me to be where I was. I was always good in school. I made it to a great university, and eventually dropped out of the university to come to Dubai.
When was this?
This was 2016. So I ended up meeting my ex-girlfriend, and she was a flight attendant for Emirates on a leave back in Serbia. And I end up just getting drunk with a mate one night and being like, dude, let's move to Dubai. Let's work for Emirates.
And how old were you?
20, 21, 22.
Okay.
Yeah. So I came to Dubai, I was 22.
Yeah.
But yeah, we just decided to apply for an open day for Emirates. Went in. He dropped out. He's in Dubai still, but doing something else.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, 2016, ended up joining Emirates as a flight attendant.
Yeah.
You can imagine me as a flight attendant.
You're a good-looking guy, let me tell you, bro. So I'm pretty sure that must have been quite an experience with the air hostesses and like the vibe of
it was. I don't know. I really enjoyed it. I can't tell you that I didn't enjoy it. Yeah. It was great for like that age and that time of my life to travel around, party. It was a very unhealthy lifestyle. So I was in sports my whole life. From the moment I was like 6, 7, my parents got me into basketball, like everybody in Serbia. Then from basketball, I wanted something like more aggressive, went into American football. And that was like with me up until university. Even in university, I was still playing. But yeah, I was always into sports and even through my partying era and being out, I still stayed training. And then moving to Emirates, life just got insane. It was like drinking every single day, partying wherever I would travel to. I mean, can't say that I regret it, but it definitely like my mind, my body was wrecked. I was so skinny. I was so weak, but I didn't care. I would just drink myself to sleep and then go party next day again. And yeah.
How long did you do that for?
It was about 4 years, somewhere around COVID. Well, that's what the whole DIOS story starts, right?
So maybe start there. Like, why did you decide to start your own business?
Didn't really. Maybe I got it from my dad. My dad was always an entrepreneur. He used to, in his good days, he was a franchise owner for a lot of rent-a-car companies, and okay. I think I got it from him, and I like that freedom of like just working on your own thing. Never find much motivation in working for others, to be honest. And then working for Emirates, I didn't really know how to. Yeah, that's where the story goes, because I didn't really know how to make money differently.
Yeah.
Once the COVID hit, we were in a terrible situation, like with Emirates. At some point, I borrowed some money from the bank. I took a loan, big loan to start a business back home. Failed. Within months, it shut down. So my parents' situation was bad at that time. I wanted to help them out.
Yes.
We wanted to start up a fast food chain. Sorry, we bought a franchise for a fast food chain. Started it, closed down within 3 months. Even if it didn't, I think COVID would have shut us down. This was right before COVID. So I had a massive loan paying, 5,000 dirhams a month. COVID hits. We stopped flying at Emirates. So they cut our salary in half. So at this point, I'm getting around 2,300 dirhams a month. And my loan is like 5,000 a month. So terrible situation to be in, right? By this time, I've started dating my wife, at the time girlfriend. And yeah, I was so broke. I remember I borrowed like 500 dirhams off a mate to like take her out on a date. Like, it was bad. Used to do odd jobs every here and there. I remember it wasn't still full lockdown or anything. So we had this group for all the crew that was living in the neighborhood, and people wanted to buy alcohol, but like you couldn't just go and buy alcohol. So I used to like jump into my old rusty Jaguar that I bought with some money that I had, drive out to Ajman, one of those shops where you don't need a license to buy liquor, bring it back to Dubai, and then like double the price and sell it on the group, just to have like money to like cover my credit card that I was maxing out. So yeah, and then lockdown started, and they started letting people go, like making people redundant, right? A lot of people, they went from, I think, 20,000 to like 10,000. I'm not really sure, but like they were firing left, right, and center. So me, my roommates, I was living with two of my roommates, and my wife was stuck with us in the apartment. She could have left, but then if she left, we couldn't have met up again because they started a lockdown. So our only way was for her to stay there with us. And when it started, it was just, FIFA all day, drinking, smoking. It was horrible. Till one day, I still remember getting trashed of that vodka. It was Absolute with like an apple flavor, horrendous.
Bet you have nightmares about that. That flavor you can't go back.
That's horrible. My wife found me sleeping on a bathroom floor, and she was like, "Dude, like, you're a mess." And I think that night like changed my mindset totally. They started firing people, right? And I was thinking like, I can't go back home, and I didn't really have another option, right? If I get fired, what's my option? Go back home. Back home, I quit my university. I can only go back to my university, but that's not really an option. I have to pay the bill somehow. So yeah, tough situation. And then I was like, okay, I need to do something about this. So at the time, I started studying for becoming a personal trainer. I've been in sports like my whole life, and I really wanted to get back in shape. I started exercising in COVID as well. After that, just in the staircase in the fire escape. And yeah, I was just looking to find an option how to have something in case I get fired. So yeah, started studying. I used to coach back home when I played American football. I used to coach kids. I used to hold some classes at local gym, but like this was the first time I went for like a proper certificate. And while doing that, I was talking to my wife, and I'm like, we need to find a way to start something. We need to make money somehow. And that's where the DIOS story starts, really. Yeah, so we decide one day let's just make an Instagram page and start selling something. So we were looking at like what we would like to say, and I was a massive Nike fanboy when I was young. You know, whoever in the neighborhood had the Air Max, he was the guy. So yeah, I was the one that was pushing for, I don't know what she wanted to do, something else. I don't know if it was bikinis or something. And I was like, no chance. Like, I want to get into sportswear. But we decided to go with like female sportswear. And then
So you guys were kind of, you were broke, right?
Yeah.
You didn't have the job. Now what made you now decide, flip, let me start another business? You had already had a bad experience with the restaurant, right?
Yeah.
Which already put you, in a bit of a hole. What made you think now you're literally you lost your job, and now it's like, okay, best thing to do, let me be an entrepreneur and start my own brand, knowing very, very well that you need money to inject into this, and chances are you're probably going to lose it. Where did that mindset shift come from?
Just wasn't, I don't know, I just didn't really have another option. My other option was to go back home, and I really didn't want to go back home because I knew nothing good is going to come from that. And then yeah, we just took the risk of starting this, and yeah, that was my idea, was to go for sportswear. At that time it was, so DIOS was totally different, different logo. Our first order, so we put our first order on my wife's credit card. We were broke, right? Both of us. We put our first order, I think it was 1,600 dirhams or something like that, on a credit card. Went on Alibaba, found the supplier, found some stuff, boom, credit card, it arrives, we take it to Sharjah. Was it Sharjah? I'm not sure. Somewhere, to a tailor. We made these like labels that they sewed on.
Yeah.
And then we were like, okay, this is our Instagram page. I think we had 13 sets. First time we ordered it, like bra and leggings for women. And it was like, white labeling. You just order whatever's already made, put your logo on it, sell it. So we didn't have a delivery company. We were delivering it in my rusty old Jag. That was, I got scammed into buying, but that's another total story.
Okay.
When I took my loan for that business right back home, I was like, okay, I really do need a car in Dubai. Like, I've been living in Dubai for like 2 years without a car. It was a mess. And you know how the boys are. Oh yeah, I want a Jaguar. I found this old Jaguar. Price was like something like 20 something K. And I'm like, I want this car. So I bring my roommate, who's apparently into cars, So I'm thinking like, he'll know to check this car and whatever. So we go into like this parking lot at RTA. The car's not even like registered. And we're like, okay, can we take it for a test drive? They're like, the guy that came to meet us, he's like, yeah, you can like drive it on the parking. Okay. I drive it on the parking. We open it up. I'm looking. My mate's looking. Like, yeah, it looks good, you know. The guy presents himself as like a driver for this like rich businessman or whatever, selling a car for 20,000. And we're like, maybe we could go for like 17. He's like, let me check. Gets on a phone call. That was no phone call. He's like, yeah, 17 is fine. So I ended up buying the car. The car drove for another like 50 kilometers and like started breaking down. Remember, I bought this on Amazon. I bought this, I don't know what you call it. It's like clay type of thing. So my radiator was leaking the coolant. I didn't have money to take it to the shop, right? So I bought this and I figured out where the leak was and then like welded the thing with like this clay. Ridiculous. Anyway, so
no, that on top of everything, eh?
That on top of everything, yeah.
So then, what would you say was sort of your first biggest challenge that you had to overcome starting DIOS?
Well, definitely just that start. I think that's what's the most difficult for most people, just to start. A lot of people have the idea of starting a business, but I think we were so rushed into it that we didn't think much about it. We acted on it right away. We're like, okay, we need the money. Let's start working on it. So yeah, that was pretty much it.
And I think that's the biggest thing that entrepreneurs, the mistake that they make. They want everything to be perfect, right?
Exactly.
You think I'm gonna get the perfect product. You want to launch it into the market perfectly. But no matter, you speak to any experienced entrepreneur, what's the one thing they say? Like, just start.
It's definitely. This is the thing, because things will never be perfect. You should have seen our first sets. It wasn't even designed by us. We ordered whatever's existing, put our logo on it, and sell it. And we thought we were running a business. It was ridiculous. We didn't even have a license. We then realized we need a license to be running a business.
And you say, is that called white labeling when you do that?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay.
That's what they told me.
Yeah, that's what they told you.
I had no idea.
At least it sounds official, right?
You should have seen, like, I remember people loved our first collection. I think we hit right because we had like different colors and like it was this like seamless sets that like girls loved. But you should have seen like even the colors of like some bras didn't match with like shorts or leggings. It was it was terrible. And yeah, us delivering it in my broke down car. I remember one time, it was middle of summer, my AC stopped working in the car. And me and my wife had an order. Before, it used to be so easy to get an order. You would just put like an Instagram boost through the Instagram. You didn't really have to like do ads. Just an Instagram boost, and like we put like a photo of it. We used like my wife and like her friends, and they like did our all like photo shoots and stuff. We just post that, and boom, it sells. And I remember us just like driving and delivering it ourselves, and like celebrating getting every order. It was crazy.
How did you know that was the way you were going to market your product? You know, like for, you know, I guess for any kind of like entrepreneurs sort of out there looking to start out, where do you think you should start when you first want to bring your product to market or service to market?
I think there's so much content now that's like available like so freely as well, like on YouTube, on podcasts, everywhere. And I think it's quite easy to like figure things out. Like, obviously scaling it and stuff is like a totally different story, but just to start, just to make your like own website, like now you have Shopify, WooCommerce, like it's very easy to start up your thing. Like we designed our own website, we did that, still do it today. Like I think there's so much material, so whoever really wants to start will be able to start. And then it's hit and miss. Like you're gonna try different things. Some things work for some businesses. I don't know. Google ads work for some businesses. Facebook ads work for some businesses. But there's a lot of materials that you can benefit from.
Because I was watching a podcast recently, and they said that, you know, I think it was with Diary of a CEO, and said it's never been easier to start your own business. Now, we are in this era of entrepreneurship. So basically what the podcast was saying is that our parents lived in the era where affordable housing was something.
True.
You know,
Yeah.
now we're in the era of entrepreneurship, and owning your own business has never been easier.
Very recently with the Australian guy.
Yes. So, and it's so true. With ChatGPT, they say that in the next few years, they reckon it's going to be the first $1 billion like AI run company where there's like maybe four people in the entire company. It's crazy.
It's insane. I think what's hard nowadays is scaling and making your brand.
Mm-hmm.
But starting a business, I agree. I think there's so much content out there on this. So I think starting a business is not a problem. After then it gets tricky. But yeah.
What advice would you give to a startup sort of looking to scale?
Oof, I don't know. We're there now.
Yeah, exactly.
I think just focusing on building a brand. I think that's what's most important nowadays. And I think we've got to learn that nowadays, and we're really trying to focus on that now. That's definitely the hardest, because once you build a brand that people trust and people like, then it's much easier.
Is that why you sort of would say sort of branding is sort of key from the get-go?
Absolutely. From my experience so far, yeah, totally.
I completely agree. There's a quote which I love, which says, lead generation is like asking someone on a date. Branding is the reason they say yes.
True.
So you've seen that. So it's true. You can throw out all the ads in the world, but
if someone
doesn't trust you, if someone can't relate to your brand, and I think that's the beauty. That's the point of branding. Like, what is branding? Branding is emotions. Branding is how does somebody feel when they see your brand, when they buy your clothing?
Absolutely.
How does it make them feel? The emotion.
Shows, exactly. And I think that's what big brands really figured out. I think while it's so easy to start a business nowadays, there's also so many businesses, so many startups that have just started. And the hard part is just getting out of that bunch.
So how did you decide to do that? Because listen, you're going into the fitness apparel space, super competitive, bro. How do you're competing with, you're not, you name it, right? And I have seen the one local brand here, Squat Wolf, manage to kind of break sort of like into that. And what is DIOS offering the market to differentiate yourselves from other brands?
So that was our thing from the start. So once we started this, we didn't think of these things. It was back in the day. We had no experience with running a company, no experience about branding or whatever. So after a few of these rounds of like ordering, white labeling and all of that, I got tired of it. And I was like, I don't want to do this. I don't find this satisfying. I don't find this fulfilling. This is not something that I want to do. I went into coaching. My wife, she's still flight attendant for Emirates, so she just kept going with her job. And there was no time for DIOS. I was building my coaching career, but I kept renewing our license, knowing that one day I want to come back to this. And then comes 2024, and then we pretty much rebrand, relaunch.
Did you get a marketing agency to help you with that?
No, everything was done
all yourself. And how did you figure that out?
Again, just watching a lot of content online and reading and just trying, really. Like 2023, when I was trying to start again, like we've hit so many roadblocks, like ordering from wrong suppliers, finally design our first products. Back in the day, we also didn't think of everything so structured. We were just thinking, all right, let's be like Gymshark, let's be like Nike, let's just have one of each piece. Anyway, we design our first thing, we send it to a supplier in Pakistan, they send us back like a sample, we're like, perfect, blah, blah, blah. Let's pay. We pay them fully. First thing that happens is the guy sends us a video once the production has been made. Our new logo, like this, right? It's printed this way on each item. I'm like, fuck me. So I message him and I'm like, dude, everything is wrong. Like, you can't send me this. Anyway, he's like, okay, I'll fix it. Then he sends it. Our first batch is here. I'm like, yes, like this was, I don't know, 8,000 dirhams we're talking about. Not a huge order. But for us, 8,000 dirhams at this point is like a lot. We're out of the gutter, out of the bad times in COVID, but it's still like quite a lot of money for us at this point, right? And the order arrives. Small is bigger than extra large. Colors are wrong. Logos on some of them, I can see that he scraped the one that was printed wrong and like put a different one over it. And yeah, I message him back and he's like, just ghosts me. And like, yeah, just sitting in my house, laying down on the floor and thinking like, what am I doing? Like, I should stop this. And that's where like my wife comes in. She's like, she's the calm one. I'm the one that always goes like wild.
So what were those sort of coping mechanisms for when you are down in the dumps? What do you do to get yourself out of that?
It's literally just having people around me that are, because I'm very bad with reacting here, and I think just having her next to me to like calm me down. She's the one that's like, it's fine. Like, you need to keep going, and like, you need to calm down, and these things happen. And they do happen. I mean, I watched other brands and dealing with the same things, but like.
So what do you think is the importance of having a co-founder in starting a business?
I think it's very important, especially at the place I'm now with DIOS. My wife wouldn't call herself a co-founder. Like, she always says, keep me out of it, because like she doesn't take credit for it. But like, even though she's like got her own thing and like it's me pretty much running everything, she's the one that like I couldn't do this without. Like, she's the one that calms me down when it's needed and like gives me advice on those things. But yeah, definitely having a co-founder. It's also important to know like who you're working with. Mm-hmm. I've seen and heard many stories of people getting into business with like wrong people and they're just going. So I think just be very careful who you're working with.
Why do you think it's important?
It can go really bad if you have someone that you can't really trust. Just like, but then also like working with your family or friend, it can worsen your relationships as well. So it's really, really important to know.
100%. And it's like that fine line between doing something which is in the best interests of your business and something which is in the best interests of your relationship or whatever that is. It's a lot of the time it's
these
different.
Things won't collide.
It's different. And True. That's when they kind of say, be prepared that if you have to choose that other way, it could severely impact and break that personal relationship. And I've lost friendships, over that kind of thing, especially, when you're starting a business. I feel like probably the most important thing to actually do when you start your business, the most important decision to make right in the early stages, who you're going into business with, 100%. Because that's going to determine everything later on, right?
Totally agree with that. And even now at the stage where we are and the business is growing,
Where are you guys now? Where's the business?
So we've been getting a lot of traction after the event, especially.
Dude, let me just shout outs for that event. That was so cool. I don't know how anyone that should be a regular thing.
That should be a regular thing. I'm hoping.
Can you not make this a DIOS regular thing? Because that is the perfect location. Anyone from around the world. It was probably, and I'm big into fitness, right? I've done fitness my whole life, many different events around the world. But that was cool, bro.
Yeah.
That was cool.
That was insane. It was it was an unreal moment just being there and like thinking like, yeah, I have my DIOS flags here and like we're running this workout on a.
Tell me a little bit about that event.
Yeah, so we ran arguably the most epic hybrid style workout in the world, probably. I don't know. On a runway at Skydive Dubai, just a couple of weeks ago. Had about 80 something people. Yeah, brought out rowers, dumbbells, wall balls, had people running up and down. Like if you've never been to Dubai Skydive, you should check that runway and just the views around it. It's all over social media as well at DIOS Dubai. But yeah, I don't know. It was so much work. My wife was traveling as well, so I didn't have uh, much help on it. I flew my sister out. She helped me a lot with all of this, planning out, just getting everyone to. It's also like because they had to get their planes taking off at like 8:30 in the morning. We had to start super early, so I think we got people there at like 6:30, 7 a.m. we started, and then like it was just the organizing to like move everything off the runway quickly after the event, and just like timing and everything. Getting the equipment out there and stuff like that. It was a bit hectic, but yeah, I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed after watching the videos and everybody posting. But yeah, I think everybody had a great time.
Why did you decide to do it?
Um, I mean, it's a great opportunity for the brand. I had my client come forward with to help me out. One of my coaching clients. He came up to me and he shout out to people at Skydive Dubai. He's a good friend of theirs, and they're like helped us out to run this collab with them. It's massive for our brand, and let's see where this goes in the future.
And what's the traction you were saying that you've seen off the back of that?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people sharing it, a lot of people talking about it. I was at the gym the other day and said hello to a friend, and his friend was like, "Oh, is that DIOS? Like, I saw the brand on Instagram, and you ran this like epic workout on the skydive runway." So yeah, it was great. But yeah, lately we've been getting some good traction, and still with me being the one running most of the things, it's getting a little bit like busy. I mean, it's always been busy, but like it's for one person, it's becoming a big thing. So let's see where it goes.
At the moment, it's just you?
At the moment, it's just me. My wife giving me help wherever she can. My sister helping me with like she's an interior designer, so she's really good with like she's really creative as well. I think yeah, both of us got a little creativeness of our parents, so she's the one that helps a little bit with like anything graphic design
but at the moment like it's pretty much just you.
Yeah.
Now there's a book that I read, 10x is easier than 2x, right? I think it's a Dan Sullivan. I'll send it to you actually, right?
Yeah.
And the thing, what it basically talks about is when you're looking to sort of scale your business, okay, you need to think who, not how. And I say that is think who can help, who can do it better than you, right? Correct. Not how can I now do it? Because the problem is when you think how, you're in a very tunnel visioned mentality because you're focusing on the now, right? Where True. as a founder and as an entrepreneur, you need to be thinking, you're the visionary for the brand, right? You need to be thinking, cool, where can you go? Where can you take it? You should be thinking about, okay, how am I invoicing? How am I updating the website? What social media is there? And with that change in mindset, it's one of the most sort of incredible mindset shifts that an entrepreneur can do.
Yeah, I think that's important. But I think also it's important for you to, obviously at the start, you're doing a lot of these things at the startup, right? So what's good about it is you learn each aspect of your business. So once someone comes on board, they can't tell you, oh, this cannot be done. I know it can be done, but that's something that I need to learn how to do, how to give control to others. I feel like that's the
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Because you're so correct in saying in the beginning, it is important that you do know, because I always say that I know a lot, I know a little about a lot. So when you start a business, I don't know the super granite details. More kind of like marketing, I kind of do because that's what I've always done. But finance and any like tech and stuff, I don't. But I know enough that I can have a conversation with somebody who is an expert in that, and that's the difference. It's because now you want someone that's highly skilled at that particular thing to do it, but you need to be able to talk his language
to do it 10% better.
It's cool, like you said. So then they can't take you for a ride. You know what good looks like, and when you know what good looks like, then you find someone that can make good great.
100%, totally agree.
So okay, so that's now you're at that stage now where looking to scale, looking to potentially gonna have to bring someone. Are you looking to bring somebody on?
Yeah, probably.
What do you look for? What are you going to look for in the sort of characteristic of somebody to join the DIOS brand?
That's the thing. I want everybody who's going to be coming on board to be living the same lifestyle as I am, and that is be really into training, because that's really what we're about, and to be a competitive person, to be reliable, first of all. I don't exactly know where we'll be, what position we'll be looking to bring on first. But definitely everybody that's going to be working for DIOS, I want them to be in the same mindset as I am, right? We're changing up the whole DIOS concept this year, going from being very broad and being like, oh yeah, we need an item for every person, like Gymshark, like Nike. Oh, let me have a bit of everything. No, we're going very niche now. We're going into what I enjoy. It's running, it's high rocks, it's popping now, I know. But yeah, it's something I enjoy, and that's what that's what really what we really want to do.
So who's your target? So your ideal target market is?
So yeah, running athletes. I hate the term hybrid athlete, but yeah, honestly, just being an athlete.
It's just being an athlete, and I tell you,
I think that's
it, right? It's just being an athlete. But I feel like there's more. Obviously there is this whole like, hybrid athlete, high rocks. Everyone's getting into it, but there's a reason everyone's getting into it. You know what I'm saying? It's because it's such an incredible way of incorporating various different elements of fitness and bringing them together. Like running last year was the fastest growing sport in the world.
Yeah, it's insane how it got back.
Yeah,
it was totally inexistent. I think COVID,
because no one could you couldn't go anywhere, you couldn't do anything.
Communities did a great job. Of bringing back running, because I think bodybuilding was so big for a while. I was never into it. I played American football, so when I moved to Dubai and finished my Emirates career, I started playing American football again. So hybrid is sort of how I trained before as well. It wasn't endurance running, it was running sprints and playing American football and lifting weights. But that's what being an athlete is, right? Running, being able to lift weights. But yeah, back on the communities and what they've done for running. Like, I think COVID has made a massive impact. People were just on their phones and not getting together, and I think that helped a lot. Communities and people want to get out and want to meet in person and want to do.
So how important do you think that building a community is in entrepreneurship? What you've seen the success of what communities has done for like sports. What do you think the importance of community is for a startup company?
I think for any startup company, building a community is of massive importance. I think it can take your brand to, that's where people will start trusting your brand, as we were talking about branding earlier. They will start, that's the feeling that they feel about the brand. So they'll feel connected to it. If they align with the message that you're sending, you'll have a great following, loyal, that will always stay with you, like your loyal customers that will always stay with you. So yeah, 100%. So important.
So as a founder, right, what do you think the importance of personal branding is, and the role that you think it has to play in helping grow DIOS?
I think I'm probably not working as much as I should on it, but yeah, DIOS is everything we've lived. So I feel like, and that's why I was avoiding bringing investors on or bringing someone else on that might change sort of the way where DIOS is going. I think it's I'm putting out my personal message that people can relate to.
Mm-hmm.
So I think personal brand is so important when you're trying to grow your startup.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, DIOS is like everything that I've ever lived, against the odds. It's not just our slogan, it's what we lived, and people understand it. People fuck with it. People, you know.
And I think that's it. When people understand, the more you kind of share your story, the more emotion you build in people, and the more your emotions people want to support, and people want to help, right?
And a lot of them felt the same way. A lot of them had difficulties in their life, and a lot of them refused to settle for anything less than their best. So that's all we're about. And yeah, I think people recognize the realness, and that's why they're starting to connect to our brand.
And that's why, we say with so much competition in the market, how do you differentiate yourself? Well, building that community, making your community feel heard, like you're taking them along this journey with you.
That's it.
They're the loyal ones. And having your solid personal brand is people buy from people.
100%.
People buy from people. People want to buy from, why Ben Francis? With Gymshark, you look at the way brands have and companies have now changed, right? It's not just this big faceless company where you don't know who's the top. Look how much like Mark Zuckerberg now is like, he's coming out, he's speaking on Instagram. You look at Elon Musk, he's
it's lately
people.
That you started noticing this.
Yes.
Lately, you noticed personal brand has become so important. I think that's it. People miss that personal connection.
Mm-hmm.
Probably COVID.
Yeah.
Probably COVID helped all of that. Because before it was all, brands, and without people, coming in front of them. And now, as you say, you see Mark Zuckerberg coming out in front of everyone. You see Ben Francis leading run clubs in London. Like, it's great.
You look at even from President Donald Trump, he's got his own brand, right? Yeah. And that's what sells. And that's why I genuinely believe that as a founder, if you do not start working on your personal brand now, we are moving deeper and deeper into a digital world where your personal brand, it's your credibility, it's your reputation, it's your social proof, it's everything that you are now in such a competitive environment and world that we're sort of in. You need to stand out, right? If you can't stand out, then you're going to get lost in the crowd, and the only way that you can stand out is by having your personal brand. Because now, who am I going to support? Am I going to support that company where I don't know anything about who the founding team is, or someone where I'm like, oh, that founder, I can relate to him. We have the same struggles. We have the same hobbies. I'm going to support him every day.
100%. You'll see a lot of with content as well. So much content has now went to being like behind the scenes and following the founders and following. So I think everybody starting a startup should be in front of their brand. If it's not your separate personal brand, be in front of your brand and show what your brand is about.
Now you're also you obviously have DIOS, but your primary sort of thing is fitness coaching, right?
Yeah.
Is that your, would you say that's more kind of like your...
I'd say DIOS is the primary thing.
Okay.
But I think DIOS is like reinvesting everything back.
Got you.
So we are, my personal, my actual job is, being a fitness coach, that I'm sort of trying to minimize now as much as I can. I really enjoy it, but running DIOS is becoming now bigger and bigger, so I really need to decide which way I'm going to go. I started really enjoying coaching group sessions, So we run our community, our DIOS training squad. Every Sunday we have our workouts. So you saw probably like there was like 50 people at that skydive event from the training squad. Yeah, every Sunday we run our community workouts, and I really enjoyed coaching those. We're starting a run club as well, so that's what another coach will be doing. I'll probably take over intervals, but yeah, I enjoy coaching. It's still my passion. But yeah, going into now growing a brand, I might need to slow down with my coaching a little. I still train very hard. I still compete.
How does fitness, do you think, shape somebody in helping them become successful as an entrepreneur?
I think if I wasn't training, I wouldn't be doing any other hard things in life. I think just pushing yourself in training as much as you can and going through those hard workouts is going to shape you up to be great and perform well in other areas of life, not only business, but business as well. If you do hard things in your trainings, you'll be way better facing hard things in your business. So yeah, 100%. It builds great discipline. It shapes you up into a machine, and you'll do the same in business.
And is that what you think where you think almost your entrepreneurial sort of drive and kind of mindset comes from? Like you said, you're big in your sports, you're competitive, you like to push yourself. And like you said, all those things, discipline, perseverance, commitment, everything that actually, if you think is everything you need to acquire and develop to be an entrepreneur.
I think all of it comes from sports in my case. The competitiveness and the will to do better all the time, 100%. 100%. And I think everybody should be training and pushing themselves, and set yourself challenges and go out there and do them. Like, do hard things. You'll be a better entrepreneur.
What advice can you give to an entrepreneur that's maybe not really into fitness, that's struggling with fitness? What piece of advice can you give them to kind of get them on their road to?
Same thing. Just start. Just get out there. Start. It's gonna suck. It's gonna suck at the start, but you have to do it. And your whole life will be much better. Start small. Set yourself some goals that are still challenging but small at the start. And go for a training, go for a run once a week. Start with that, and then you'll build it up.
Yeah, it's not something you have to think too much about. I think people, they overcomplicate it in their head. It's this, now I need to get in shape.
Oh, which gym do I need to go to?
What gym do I need to go? I don't know how to go to the gym. What?
Just start.
Start on the treadmill.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Then start. Once you start going on the treadmill, then have a look around. You're going to get inquisitive, and you're like, oh, I wonder how that machine works.
Again?
Then you're going to go and try that machine. You know what I'm saying?
So much content is out there. So much content is out. You can learn everything on YouTube. You can learn how to train on YouTube now. Yeah.
And that's what I think COVID showed that, didn't it?
Yeah, 100%. So many people, and working out at home. Totally.
So if you could give one piece of advice to someone struggling with business or fitness, what would that be?
I think set goals and use a calendar. What I like to do is I schedule every bit of my day. This makes sure that I actually do it and I'm not procrastinating. You should see my Google Calendar, like everything is marked out, like go to sleep, wake up, take dog for a walk, lunch. I love my day planned out completely. So I think just write down a couple of tasks in a day. Start small. Write up a task, commit to it, and do it. Make sure you do it. And then reward yourself after if you want. But just completing it is going to be a reward itself. Yeah, totally.
That calendar thing, something I've struggled. That's been my biggest struggle because I've never been the most organized person. I'm creative, so I'm not. But I've learned now, especially being involved in different ventures, different industries, there's different things to know. You have to try and live by your calendar. It's so difficult though. Let's be honest, right?
It is difficult. Things change.
Yeah, exactly.
On a
Like
daily
you can't,
basis.
and priorities change, right? What's a priority now?
You get a call and then something
has to
comes
completely change, and then it throws you off. But it's just having that kind of that structure to kind of get you back on track.
It can
right?
change. It can totally change. But just having it laid out, you're gonna have all your daily tasks out there.
Yeah.
And you'll shift them if you do need to. But if you don't have them, it's a total mess. It's a total mess. You'll never push yourself. You'll never get off the couch.
You won't.
Yeah.
So generally, my final question, when I've guests sort of come on, right, is what does escaping normal mean to you? When you hear escaping normal, what comes to mind?
I think just pursuing what you really think is important in life. Yeah, I never personally wanted to get stuck into, in an office doing a 9 to 5. That's normal for me. And just like chasing bigger things in life. I don't know, my mission is to take DIOS to become everything sports in the region first and then go worldwide. And that would be something that's most fulfilling for me, having my family, my wife, my dog around, and just becoming what I'm truly passionate about.
Amazing. Well, listen, Luka, thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Very, very excited to see this next phase of your journey. And
thank you for having me.
Keen to have you back in a year or two and me talking.
We'll see.
You've just
how
opened
it
up
goes.
many locations,
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
Awesome. Thank you, buddy.
Thanks.